These notes right here are going to be helping us for our quiz on Monday over sections 9.1 through 9.4. First up, guys, what is the percent equation? P times of equals is. So on your quiz and your test next week, you must know what the percent equation is. If you wrote it down in your notes right there and you didn't get it correct, just erase it and fix it for me, okay? The percent equation is P times of equals is. Next up, just the girls. What do you have to do every time to your percent whenever you use the percent equation? Change it to a decimal, okay? This is the thing that people make the biggest mistake. Change it to a decimal. How many of you would say that you got those first two questions correct in your notes? All right, very good. Once again, please make sure that you know that for your quiz on Monday. Next one, number 3, write the percent as a fraction in simplest form. Anytime that we have a percent, it always means that number over what number? Over 100, okay? So show me this work just so that I see that you know and understand. Carlos, when you guys did this, what did you get? 24 over 100 in simplest form. 6 over 25 is correct. Raise your hand if you got that. Great job. Next up, Landon. What do I do? Okay, and is that in simplest form? No, what would it be? 9 over 20. Remember, once again, if you did not get this when you were doing it with your partner, go ahead and erase it and fix it for me, please. Next up, a few people have had problems with this one today, so let's just talk it through. Write the fraction as a percent and round to the nearest tenth if necessary. Okay, people have had some struggles with the rounding for some reason. If I put 6 over 9 into my calculator, what comes out?
0.666.
Okay, 0.6 repeating. So that means that 6 is going on and on and on forever. Okay, we don't need thousands of them, but in order to change a decimal to a percent, what do I do to my decimal?
Round to the nearest 10.
No, what do I have to do with my decimal point?
Oh, go over 2 spaces.
Move it 2 places to the right. Okay, so now if I were to bring this down, it's 66 point, and then the 6's go on forever. Where is my tenths place? It's the number right after the decimal, okay? So that's the number that you are rounding to see. Is that number 5 or bigger? What is it?
66.7%.
You are correct, 66.7%. Number 5 says to write the percent as a decimal or the decimal as a percent. Alex, go ahead and do problem A for me, please. Where is my decimal at? Tell me then, where's the decimal at? 25%, where's the decimal at? In the back. There's no need to be confused about this. What do I do with my decimal point? You move it 2 times to the left, and what's your answer? 0.25. Jakari, 0.039. How do I turn that into a percent? 2 places to the right, and what do you get? 3.9%. Okay, that's the problem that people mess up on the most, is they forget to put that percent sign. On your quiz on Monday, there will be different times that I'm asking you to answer some questions, but this one specifically says to use a proportion. Guys, what's a proportion? 2 ratios that equal each other, okay? What's my original formula I've got to use?
Is over of equals P over 100.
Okay? If you did not start with it like this, you need to erase the work that you've done. You might have gotten the same answer, but this does not ask you to use the percent equation, okay? So now, if I just break this down, it's very simple to see what number is 22% and of 62. Emma, what's my is? We don't know what it is yet. What's my of? 62. What's my P? Okay, so I'm just going to stick it in because 22% means 22 over 100. All right, so now we're going to cross multiply. Gabby, what do I do?
You put 100x equals 62 and then 22 in parentheses.
Okay, Michael, what is 62 times 22? 1,364. Asia, how do I get x by itself? Good job. And Isabel, what's my answer?
13.64.
13.64. Guys, should I round that?
No.
No, the instructions do not ask me to round it. If you remember, I said before, if the number goes on and on, if it went on like this, and we were trying to think that is really obnoxious, there's way too many numbers, then I would say always round that to the nearest tenth. But because, if you look right here, this clearly ends in the hundredths place, we're going to give it the entire answer, and you don't need to round it. Okay? Let's do another example. Once again, we're still going to be using a proportion to answer the questions. Shikari, what proportion should I start with?
Is over equals P over 100.
Okay? Once again, you can figure out, I'm looking for my percent, that's my of, that's my is. Carlos, plug it in for me. What's my is? Of? Percent? Okay, we're going to keep it as a P because we don't know it yet. All right? Let's do cross multiply. Alex, what should I do?
4 times 100 equals 40p.
Guys, what's 4 times 100?
400.
400. Landon, what do I do now? Very good. We divide by 40 on each side. Michael, what is my answer?
Range is 10%.
Okay. We know right here that I can easily cross out these zeros. 40 divided by 4 is 10. And then thank you for telling us we need to make it a percent, okay? So if I go back to my original question, it says what percent of 40 is 4. So then when I see that, I know my answer has to come out as a percent. Who got that one correct on their own? All right, great job, guys. Once again, we're still going to be answering the same kind of question on the back of your paper, but this time it asks us to start by using the what?
P times
The percent equation. Just the girls, what is the percent equation?
P times of equals is.
P times of equals is. Once again, you can kind of break down the original problem to see. We are looking for the is, that's my percent, and this is my of, okay? So guys, what's the percent?
25.
25%. Here's where everyone messes up on. What do I have to do to that?
You have to make the decimal a little bit less.
Change it to a decimal. What would 25% be for a decimal?
25.
0.25. What's my of?
300.
What's my is?
X.
It's an X. We don't really know. Okay, now as you can see, I don't need to do any work on the right-hand side. So now we just need to work out the left side. What is 0.25 times 300? 75. If I go back, should this be 75%? No. Go back to the original question. It says what number, so I know I want my answer to come out as a number, and 75 is correct. This one we're doing the same kind of thing. We're going to use the percent equation. So we want to start with P times of equals is. Looking for what percent? This is my of, and that is my is. What's the percent, guys? P. Okay, I'm going to keep it as a P. What's my of? 300. What's my is? 51. How do I get P by itself?
Divide by 300.
Divide by 300 on both sides. When I put this into my calculator, what is 51 divided by 300?
0.17.
0.17. Once again, if I go back to my original equation, it asks me what percent. Is that a percent?
Nope.
So what do I do to my decimal?
Over 2 spaces.
You just want to move it over 2 places to the right, and what's your answer?
17%.
17% is correct. Good job, guys. For the story problem here, there's a number of ways you can come up with the answer. You can use your proportion, you can use your percent equation, or you can just use common sense. Okay, so let's look at this. Only 13 students came to class on Monday. Normally there are 18. What percent of the students came to class? How many of you would say you used the percent equation to figure this out? Okay, what is the percent equation? P times of equals is. What is the proportion that I would use for this? Okay, is over of equals P over 100. In our notes that we talked about, I taught to you what the is and the of are. Which one is the part, the is or the of? The is, that's the part of the fraction. So what's the of?
The 13. Yeah,
That's the whole. So let's come back over here to the percent equation. Do I know my p? No, here's why. It says what percent. So I know I'm looking for the p. So for that, I'm just going to go ahead and keep p right there. Of. As I come over here, I can see of is the whole amount. What is the whole amount that is normally in class?
18.
There are normally 18 students. So I know my of is going to be 18. And then my is will be what? 13. That's the part of the students that actually came to class. So as you work this out, what is 13 divided by 18, guys?
72.
Okay, it says 72.222222222. When you have something that goes on and on forever, we will always round to the nearest tenth. What would that be rounded to the nearest tenth? 72.2. Now look, the original problem says what percent? Does 72.2 say percent? No, so what do I need to put on it? A percent sign. Okay, now let's come over here and see if we can get the same answer working this way. What is my part that we're talking about? 13 is the part. Only 13 came to class. Out of what total or what whole?
students.
Out of 18 equals p over 100. So for this, you're going to do cross products where you multiply it out like this. Okay, so we know 13 times 100 equals 18p. What's 13 times 100?
1,300.
Okay, 1300 equals 18p. Divide by 18, and what do you get?
72.22222.
Okay, 72.2222222 goes on and on forever, so then you got to put a percent. Okay, now look, if I just want to use common sense, I'm going to go back and reread it one more time. Only 13 students came to class. 13 of them came. Out of 18. Guys, what's 13 divided by 18? Put that in your calculator.
That's what I did. I just did that.
What's it say? What came out?
72.22222.
It comes out as 0.72222 repeating, all right? Then all you would do is just move it over, and your answer is what?
72.2.
Okay, so on your quiz, I do not care if you do it with the percent equation. I don't care if you do it with a proportion or if you just use common sense. Any of those would be perfectly fine with me, okay? One more problem. This last question today, a real life scenario, okay? We've got a 7th grader who wants to go on the SeaWorld field trip. The cost of the field trip is how much, Alex?
16.
$80. The 7th grader's mom told them that they had to earn their own money to go on the trip. If they already earned 20% of the cost of the trip, how much money have they earned? Did anybody use the percent equation to figure this out? Okay. Alex, what's this percent equation?
0.2.
Nope. What's the percent equation?
P times of equals
P times of equals is. All right. Your percent was 20% and you changed it to
0.2.
a decimal, 0.2. Of. Is of the total or the part?
The total.
It is the total. How much was the total cost of the field trip?
$80.
$80. Okay. What is 0.2 times $80?
16.
$16. A lot of you just put 16, but the answer is $16. Was there anyone who did is over of equals p over 100? Okay? Doing that, is over of, that's part over whole. What is the part? Do we know the part yet? No, it's unknown. We've got to figure out how much she has. What's the total cost? 80. What's the percent?
20%.
Okay, remember 20% means the same thing as 20 over 100. Now all you would do is cross products to see if you got this correct or not. 100x equals 80 times 20. What is 80 times 20? 1600. Now you got to divide by 100 to get this x on its own. And what does x equal? $16. Okay, once again, you get the same exact answer. It doesn't matter to me how you get it. If not, you could use common sense to look at this and think, okay, I've I have someone who earned 20% of the cost, the total cost. All you do is you change that to a decimal and multiply it times 80. Guys, what's 0.2 times 80? $16. That would be the simplest way to come up with the answer to that story problem or any kind of problem like this. This is a real life scenario, okay? So I want you to think, yes, formulas can help us, but sometimes just try to think logically to see if that makes sense. Now, if she has already earned $16, how much more does she have to earn? Guys, what did you get? How much more does she have to earn? $64 is correct. All right, so guys, please make sure over the weekend you are studying and reviewing these notes over sections 9.1 and 9.4 for your quiz on Monday.